If you watched the first episode of Ken Burns' American Revolution doc, you might have found yourself wondering what was going on in Rhode Island during these years. Well, let's just say, the colony had its fair share of fireworks. To start, when Britain began enforcing the Sugar Act, Rhode Island, whose economy was heavily dependent on smuggled molasses, went absolutely nuts. For example, in 1764, Newporters fired cannon shots at a royal vessel known as the St. John, an act you could argue created some of the first shots of the American Revolution. Then, the colony's governor, Stephen Hopkins, sharpened the colonial cause by publishing The Rights of Colonies Examined, a pamphlet that acted as one of the earliest arguments for no taxation without representation. Rhode Islanders continued their protests during the Stamp Act crisis. Newport crowds burned effigies, destroyed Loyalist property, and forced their stamp officer to resign, making the colonists one of the most aggressive in resisting British authority. Tensions boiled over yet again when Rhode Islanders burned a royal vessel called the Liberty. Now, the doc does briefly mention the burning of the Gaspee a few years later in 1772, but it doesn't explain how the special commission sent to find the Rhode Islanders who committed the crime helped to inspire the colonies to create a colony-wide communication network known as the Committees of Correspondence. And so, in other words, from the Sugar Act to the Gaspee affair, Rhode Islanders weren't just reacting to the revolution, they were standing at the very front of that charge.